So welcome to another session of interviewing past primary students. And today we have one of our students here. Please can you introduce us by telling us your name?
Okay, so my name is Balashere Mutmaina, and I'm a student of UI First and Best in the Department of Nursing Science.
So we find out,
Yeah.
how did you get to know about primaries?
Okay, so I finished my secondary school in 2022. So I did jam in my school. I got 236. Then I wanted to write UI OCTME, but I was like, the score is not really okay for me to enter nursing or UI. Then I have a friend. She was like, she's going to a tutorial in January. So I told her that she should just link me up and everything. Then she told me about Primax. Then I said, okay, I was going to come and make an inquiry. So that's how I got to know about Primax.
So when you came to primaries, what would you describe your stay in primaries, the friends you made and everything?
Okay, so the first time I came to Primax, it was like we're not really much because we just started. It was around that January, so everybody has gone on holiday. So when I first came, we were not much in class. So I was like, okay, maybe because I'm not this kind of person that likes too much, like many
Crowd.
people to be in a class with me. So I was like, okay, this is okay enough for me. Then the next day, people started coming and everything, and then I met Mr. Akinwale, known as Sodium, our tutor. It was like he advised me that 236 can still get UI nursing, that I should just work harder and everything. And during my stay in Primax, I noticed that most people, most of them just like to read and everything. There's not really much of play. And I'm this kind of person that used to play a lot. But when I got to Primax, I had to adjust to get, because if I'm going to go for this thing, if I'm chasing after my dreams, I have to know that okay, there are some sacrifices I have to make. So I have to adjust to the environment, and I guess that's all.
So how will you describe the environment in primaries, the learning environment? You were not a border, right?
No, I
So you
wasn't.
don't have much things to tell us about the living condition in primaries. But what can you tell about the spiritual, the learning part, and then the social part of primaries?
So, firstly, for the spiritual part, it's is okay for the Christians, and it's also okay for the Muslims, because early in the morning when we come to class, we do fellowship for the Christians, and on Fridays or any other day, the Muslims can just go for their prayers. It's not like a restricted something that they cannot tell you, "Ah, don't go for this or don't go for this." You can just go for your prayer when the time is right. Then for the social part, there's this gathering we always do after our jam in Primax. It's called Primax Get Together. Is actually okay because after jam, your head can be kind of hot and everything.
So you need
So the get
to
together is to cool
release
down, and
stress,
you
feel free,
get,
and then get prepared for what's coming next.
yeah. And for the learning environment, it's okay for a tutorial. Actually, you don't see all tutorial or some tutorials that have a like big learning environment. But for Primax, it's actually okay. It is conducive, and it can contain a lot of students. So
The teaching in primaries, how would you describe that?
it is actually, I can say it's perfect, because it is the owner of the tutorial that is teaching us. He knows, I can say he knows virtually everything. He knows physics, it teaches chemistry, it teaches biology. So obviously, as a science student, your everything is on point. There's nothing telling you that there's nothing saying there's no reason for you not to get 90 and above in your jam, like your subject. So like it is okay because it teaches everything and it explains in detail. So there's no reason for you not to get anything you're saying.
So is teaching everything is not the case of jack of all trade, master of none, but the
No,
case of jack of all trade, master of all.
all, yeah.
That's very interesting anyway. So would you recommend primaries to someone?
Yes, I would surely, yes, I will. I will recommend Primax to someone.
Yeah, that is all about primaries anyway. So let's look at the main thing, the reason
Okay.
why we called you for this interview, so others can learn from you. So what were the challenges you faced during your journey to getting admission into UI? Because to get admission into UI and to get nursing, of all courses.
It's
I
not
mean, it's
small.
UI and it's nursing. So it's not something you can just wake up and then it's not something that is served on a silver platter. It's
Yeah.
something you have to work hard for. So what were the challenges you faced? How many times did you do jam, the
Okay.
preparation for the post-UTME and everything?
Okay, so I wrote jam twice. Like I said, my first jam was in my secondary school. I had 236. The reason for getting 236 is that I feel like I was not really serious during that time. So when I got to Primax,
So
I
let me cut you short there.
okay.
You are not really serious means that in your secondary school you had good tutors, like your secondary
Yes,
school was
yes.
okay.
It was very okay actually. It was very, very okay. But I felt like the problem was me.
So
Because
if you had been serious right
serious.
from start, you would have
Yes.
gotten your admission was
With my first jam, yes. So
interesting.
with the first jam, I got 236. Then I came to Primax preparing for UI post UTME. I was like, I should change to another course, like, because getting nursing with 236, it is actually not possible for me. So I was like, okay, maybe I should change to another course. But when I got to Primax, Sodium was like, I can still I can still try to get 90 plus to get nursing in UI. So
So it did
I
not disencourage you from
just,
leaving nursing because
yes,
of your jam score.
yes. So I wrote UI post UTME and I got 54. I got 54.
That was your first time.
Yes, that was
That's
my
far
first
from
time.
90.
That was my first time writing UI post UTME. So I got 54. And then I already registered for JAM while preparing for I registered for another JAM while preparing for UI post UTME. So immediately after the UI post UTME, I started reading for JAM again. Then I got 287. That was my
The
second
second
JAM.
round
Yeah,
from two
36
from 236.
to 287.
That's a nice improvement.
Okay. I really do not. I don't actually feel like it's an improvement because I was aiming at 300, but it was fine. Then it started. Then I picked UI actually, but there's this thing in Primax that our tutor will tell us that we should pick OAU first because they're always writing their position first, like to just prepare for the school we want to go to. That we should just write OAU first. That anything that comes, whether you pass it or you don't pass it,
Then
is
it's fine.
fine. So I prepared for OAU post UTME, gave us materials, pre-degree, we read everything. Then I wrote OAU post UTME, then I got 27 over 40. And cutoff was really high that time, so I didn't meet for UI, I didn't meet cutoff for OAU. Then I changed to UI, and I wrote UI post UTME, I got 74.
Over
Then,
100.
yes, over 100.
Yeah.
Then I met I think my aggregate was around that 72.8 something. But I beat cut off with 0 point something.
So you
So
graced the cutoff.
it was like so
A
the chance
God did
was
it
yes,
kind of thing.
yes. So I'm grateful though. So it's fine.
So
That's all.
what would you tell the students that are preparing for JAM and Positemi to do? If what do you think were the mistakes you made that they should not make that will make them get the admission once and for all without having to do JAM? Because it seems the people that I've talked to, all of them did JAM more than once.
Yes.
So if someone will have to do it once without repeating, what do you think they should do?
Okay, firstly, there's
Especially someone coming from a good background in secondary school like you.
okay. So if you want to write your JAM boss and just gain admission like once, what I would advise is that just avoid like distractions. Firstly, you need to avoid distractions. I feel like distractions also affected me because I had the phone, all the social media stuff. So I was always on my phone, kind of. I was not really focusing on the main part of what I was looking for. So I would advise that you should avoid social media for that period of time that you want to write
It
jam.
can always come
Yes, it can always come. You enjoy it like
and you
because
get tired.
after your jam and you write positive, there'll still be some kind of months left for you to resume. So you enjoy that phone sincerely. So avoid social media for now. Then focus on um your books. Then make friends. Make friends that would help you a lot. Like I had this, we are like three. So those people, my friends, we read together every day. midnight, afternoon, every single time. So those people really helped me a lot. So I would say you should make friends that will help you in your studies. Then pray. That prayer is really important.
Yeah,
Always pray.
we can't leave the part of prayer.
You can't leave God out of it. So you have to pray a lot for success.
The last question that I have, which is very, very important, is why primers? Have you really been to other tutorials, or do you have friends that are in other tutorials? Why will you say someone should come to primers? Why will you say primers is the best above all of them that you've experienced?
I've not really been to any other tutorial. Primax is my first tutorial. But from my friends actually that attended tutorial, I told them to come here. So but my juniors that I know that are in other tutorials, what they complain of is that in their tutorial their teacher is always like sometimes their teacher will not even come, and even if he comes or even if she comes, they are just going to like write notes for them, no explanation, no nothing. But in Primax you can't see that. It might not even give you notes, it's just going to be explaining everything in details, and you will definitely
So
understand.
in-depth explanation is
Yes,
one thing you gain from primers.
yes, yes,
It's very important. It is way better than giving notes, because what is the essence? Giving notes is just like handing you a textbook and tell you
mm-hmm.
to read without explaining stuff to you.
Yes.
I think that's something to hold on to, especially if you are looking forward to coming to Primax, for the ones that be watching this video. And thank you for honoring our call.
You're welcome.